Hey everyone, welcome to Survivor Now podcast. Today I'm very excited to be joined from Brains versus Bronze 2. Today we are talking to PD. PD, thank you so much for being here.
Hey Matt, how are you?
I'm doing well. I'm excited to finally talk to you. You're off of the island now. How has life been since filming and now airing and now it's done. It's all done.
Yeah, life gets back to normal pretty quick, so it's all good. But it's been really great to watch everything back. When the show streams. So it's been quite surreal, but really enjoyed it.
That's awesome to hear. I know it can go, I know it could be a little bit scary to see yourself on television or to see how your story all plays out, but we're going to talk to you about everything today. I just wanted to double check in your real life, not when you're on the island. Do you go by Paul or do you go by PD in life too?
No, normally Paul or Paulie, but it caused a lot of confusion with the other Paulie. So no, often at work, I do get PD, but I just got used to it pretty quickly.
No, it makes sense. It makes sense. For the sake of today's conversation, Paulie's name will come up, so we'll just keep calling you PD if that's all right with
Nah,
you.
PD all the way, no problem.
Okay. All right, perfect. So, was there anything that we did not get to see about your experience on the island? I mean, I know they take a lot of footage and they consolidate it into 3 hours per week. So, was there anything that we were missing as a viewer?
No, I think as a viewer, and it's impossible to show everything, but I think the absolute strength of some of the alliances or friendships that you have, you miss that. So it's really difficult, to show everyone's connection in a short window of time for each episode. But some of the alliances and like I said, friendships, they are probably much stronger and tighter than what it would appear sometimes on the show.
Yeah, I mean that definitely makes sense. I mean, from what we saw as viewers, it seemed like you were pretty close to three people in particular when the episodes first started, and that was Nash, Kristen, and Ursula. Is that right, or are we missing anyone?
No, and Zen, certainly before Zen unfortunately left the show. That was the original alliance for us on Brawn's, or the OG Brawn. And then after that, when we had merge, certainly with Zara, I really connected strongly with Zara when we did merge. Oh, sorry, when we went to Tribe Swap.
Yeah, Zara, we interviewed her the other day, and she also mentioned that you two had a great relationship after the merge. So that's awesome to hear. We did get to see a little bit of gameplay between you and Zen. We didn't get to see a lot of Zen, unfortunately. But when it came to Nash in particular, I think he was plotting against him, or there was something going on there. Can you tell me a little bit about your relationship with Zen and sort of how you were navigating the game? Because it seemed like he wanted to fracture that alliance pretty early.
Well, Zen was really strategic in his thinking, and he was a physical presence as well, right? So he was an unfortunate exit, but no, Zen was there to play. We connected from day one. It wasn't though we were trying to work against Nash. It was quite the opposite. We were trying to settle Nash down a little bit because Nash was a bit like Yosemite Sam with his six guns blazing and just went ballistic. So we were actually trying to say to Nash, just keep some powder dry for later on. But he just wanted to go from 0 to 100. So we probably failed in our mission to settle him down a bit.
Well, so the main task, it seems like, was just getting rid of that idol.
Yeah. When it was so visible and everybody knew, the only sort of consensus was get rid of it, reset, and start again, and Nash being as savvy as he was, I mean, ideally he found another one pretty quickly and he could have kept it under wraps. But once it was known, we all agreed it was the best thing was to get rid of it.
And I bet it didn't help that late one night or morning, depending on what time it was, he opens up to you, Kristen and Ursula, and says, yeah, I threw that challenge, that first one where Candy ended up getting voted out. Would you say this was also a defining factor that sort of changed the trajectory of your alliance?
Yes, to a degree. Can I just tell you, I'm unsure whether Nash actually threw a challenge deliberately or it was a convenient sort of argument post, some inability in challenges. So I'm not sure. But, early on like that, you don't want to be throwing challenges, especially with me. Like we were there to try and, play as best we could and as hard as we could. Like, I don't want to go to tribal council early on. Like I'd sooner send, the opposition there every single time. But he kind of lost a little bit of trust as soon as he sort of divulged that information to us.
Yeah, I mean that definitely that would be me too. Send the opposition to tribal councils, and therefore get our numbers to be strong by the time you get merge. Yeah. Which part of the game did you enjoy playing the most? The tribe dynamics one, or when you started playing a more individual game?
Look, I was really focused on trying to get to the individual game, and that's where I wanted to really put the foot down and play hard. Especially when you were doing individual challenges. My unfortunate sort of situation, it just didn't allow me too much time in the individual game, but that's what I was really looking forward to, because pacing yourself through the early phase and then accelerating hard when you had individual, sort of navigation. I thought that was always the way to play it. But in saying that, the tribe dynamic was terrific. Like time around camp and working with your alliances and plotting, a path forward together. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, and it seems like you were in a good majority for a good portion of this game, especially when we had that tribe swap happen as well. We got to see that a good chunk of you from the original Brawn tribe ended up all together there too. So that seemed like it was smooth sailing. Who out of this group, we have Morgan, Kate, Jesse, and Ben, who were you feeling most confident with at this point in the game?
Jesse's a really likable guy, so like he's friends with everybody, so he was an easy friendship to make. But the one I really wanted to work with was Ben from the start, because I saw Ben as quite a shield when it came to physical challenges, because people just naturally thought Ben was terrific at all the challenges and he did well. Yeah. So I could easily then just sail through doing well at challenges myself, but not really being the big physical target that Ben was. So I really wanted Ben to stay in and provide cover. But anyway, that didn't eventuate. But yeah, he was probably the one I wanted to work with most. But out of that group in that tribe swap, I was so close. I really wanted to maybe use that as an opportunity to jump over to the other four, because I saw myself as the easiest swing vote, because Zara, Laura, Max and Miles were an easy four to jump over to, and I was really assessing that group, but I just couldn't. In the end, I just couldn't. It was just that fractured on it was only the guys. It was only Miles and Max. I just couldn't get them to work together, but Laura and Zara were an easy combination to make. So that was probably one of the moves that I look back on and say opportunity missed.
Well, Miles and Max, like you said, they were against each other since the beginning. So all good. I think,
it was a sport. It was like a game that they were just that was the individual battle that Max zeroed in on, and there was no budging him from that.
Yeah. And then Max ended up leaving in an incredible fashion at one tribal council, which maybe was a highlight of the season for me. It was an amazing episode. But so was there chatter amongst yourself, Laura, Zara, Miles, Mac? Were you getting the ball rolling at all with that group?
Yeah, certainly with Miles. Because Miles talks strategy a lot, right? So you'd have that conversation in a soft way with Miles, but it had to be quiet, right? Because Max was the risky element, and he'd go over and blow your game up on the other side if it was too open. But certainly with Zara, because she's the one that I spoke to the most about how we would navigate through the game, because when we swapped, she had Karen that she was very close to, and I had Kristen that I was very close to. So that little combination of four, if we got back to a merge scenario, was going to be quite a powerful little unit that not too many people would have suspected. So Zara certainly was the one that I was talking to see if we could make that happen. But she was never at risk. Even if I stayed with the OG Brawn, Zara would have been the last person that was going out of that group. So there's no way that she was at risk.
So were you surprised when Zara took the opportunity when they found that knowledge is power thing in the wilderness, and then all of a sudden one of them is we have we have so many questions about this
Yeah.
tribal council, PD. Maybe you can help clear things up. But going into this, it seemed like the votes were going to be on Laura. When you found out that this was going to be a non-elimination, someone going over to the other tribe, lead me through some of the discussions that were happening here and sort of how you all decided between the two of them or neither of them.
Matty, can I tell you, that's another example of Miles's like part good planning, part good fortune. Like there was every tribal council, there was an opportunity for him to go, and always something happened, right? So Miles was the target to go home if we were going to actual tribal council, right? And
Oh, okay.
then when it came to switching someone over to the other tribe, look, I don't think Laura was ever a realistic opportunity to go. I really don't. Only because the threat of her rejoining her original alliance was too great.
Mm-hmm.
And my plan was always to influence the group to send Zara, because if Zara could reconnect with Karen and Kristen, it was a jackpot win for me, right? So, so I really wanted Zara to head back over and continue to build on that alliance that we'd agreed upon. So, yeah, I know Laura wanted to go because it was
Yeah.
obviously, her rejoining, the numbers over on that side, but I don't think we were ever realistically voting for, or, giving her the green light to go across.
Okay, that's okay. That's cool to know because I see this reaction going in a certain way. You were mentioning that you were building your relationship with Zara, and all of a sudden here she is being like, "I'd like to leave to go to the other side." So it's great that you were like, "Okay, no, this will work out good for me if Zara ends up going because she'll reconnect with Karen and all of that, and the future of the game might open up a little bit."
Yeah, and you'd hope that you get to a merge scenario, because out of those numbers, if the OG Brawn stayed strong, there's 2 votes if we went to tribal council both times where, Miles and Laura, unfortunately, probably would have been, looking at a risky scenario if we went to tribal.
Right.
And that would have been enough time to suspect that we would have been in a merge situation. So, yeah, Zara was the right vote for me.
All right, and then we do have to talk about not your exit, which I was
Ah,
very happy about, but we do have to talk about the injury. Um,
yeah.
so this was very hard to watch for so many reasons.
Mm.
One, always hate seeing someone being injured on the show, just because it hurts, but also because of the possibility of you possibly being pulled from the game. When this happened and they rushed you to medical, how long did you spend with medical before filming started again?
Well, it's within 24 hours. So it's probably, I got to the stage where it was close to 20 hours, but anything more than 24 and you're actually out of the game. So we were always aware of the time to get back into the game. So, yeah, stay with the medical team. We go off to hospital. You try to run through scans, so x-rays and then ultrasounds. And yeah, there's just a good assessment that there's no bones broken and it was just a ruptured bicep. So that requires surgery, but it's not absolutely necessary. You can get through and just wait, right? So yeah, so I was lucky. The show, in a way, the producers allowed me to stay on and try and work through it, but that didn't last too long. But I didn't. I would really have regretted if I'd not opted to do that. Because you dream of going on the show, and
Yeah.
it's not what you think your path is going to be. But I was of the view that you'd have to drag me out of there, and conditions and hunger and things like that was never going to sort of stop me from playing. I would never have walked off.
I've always said if I ever made it onto the US version, I always said I would rather everyone look at me at tribal council and say you were a terrible player, we're voting you off, than to be pulled for some sort of an injury or something like that. It's
Yes,
a tough way to go, but I didn't know that it led to an eventual surgery. How's your bicep doing?
it's good. That's I'm on the path. It's still in rehab, but that's, to be honest, that's around 9 months now. So it's getting almost back to normal. So I can train on it again and everything's
Oh,
fine.
good.
But it's a longer process than what I actually thought when I first did the injury. So, but it's going okay.
Okay, that's great to know. And then we did see this really beautiful moment between you and Kaylin. Obviously, it was just apparent that he felt terrible about the situation that had
Yeah.
happened. Can you tell me a little bit about your relationship with Kaylin, where it was before this, and then did this make things stronger overall between the two of you?
Yeah, I guess it does. But mate, for those that know Kalen and you get to know him on the show all the way through, that is Kalen. He's the sweetest soul and a real kind person. So there's no malice in anything that he does. So no, that was just a genuine contest. It was an unfortunate situation that occurred, but he really felt it. And I felt for him, right? Because he was the same when the issue happened to Zen, and he was the same with me. So it's like that's just something that happens, and you feel for him at the time. So I just wanted to make sure that he felt fine and there was no hard feelings. It happens, like in sport or in like now in this situation when we're in the challenge in Survivor. There's, like I said, no malice, nothing deliberate. It's just unfortunate. So I didn't want him to feel bad at all.
That's a good point. We do you give a knee when someone gets injured in some sort of sporting event, so then you just move on from
Yeah,
there. So
yeah.
that's good to know. I was so happy to see that you were allowed to continue in the game. I know we already sort of talked about this, but we did learn that they would have certain restrictions for you moving forward in terms of the challenges. Was there any challenge that you saw that on your time there where you were like, if I wasn't injured, I'd love to do that?
All of them. All
Okay,
of them.
good. Good answer.
Um, no, for sure. Like, and I even wanted to do them with one arm, but like for the safety team prevent you from doing that. But the balancing act with the three balls when you're sort of like balancing like a skateboard, I thought I
Mhm.
could do that. Even the one where you had to like hold the bar down, like in a lap pull down.
Yeah.
Like I'm okay to do that with one arm. Like no problem. Just let me hold it with my left, and if I'm the second person to go out, I'm fine. I just would have done everything to not be the first person that was out. So, um, anyway, I would have loved to have done an individual challenge. That's one of the things that I really wanted to do when I went on the show. But I watched a couple of them, but I didn't get a chance to do it, which I'll always have a little bit of regret
I
with.
know.
So, yeah.
It was a shame. It seems like when your time was while you were there, I could tell it was sit out after sit out after sit out, which is unfortunate. So I do hope that one day you get that opportunity to
Oh,
try
I
those
wish.
challenges.
I wish, because they are the most fun. Like anyone that goes on Survivor, you will know what I mean. Challenges and getting ready for challenges every day, it really lifts your spirits. And it's
Yeah.
either like the anticipation of finding out what reward is on offer, or it's avoiding tribal council. Like, they're terrific. They're so much fun.
The rewards that you all get to go on in the Australian version are incredible. So I
They're
would try
good.
for every single one. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Uh, can you tell me a little bit about your relationship with Kristen? And it was cool. This was the episode where everyone was like, "Oh, there's a buddy system going on," and
Yeah. Yeah.
you and
Yeah.
Kristen were one of them.
Yeah. Oh, look, you know when you just find your people, and this was just random. Like there's strangers that meet each other, but uh, I found Kristen and just the way that she conducted herself, like her background, her moral set, like it's just she's just a terrific human being and someone that in real life that I'll connect to and be friends with. So I was just lucky to find someone like her on the show and on the same tribe. So no, I liked Kristen from the get go and trusted her the entire way through, and would never have done anything to put her in jeopardy. If I could have protected her at any stage, I would, and I feel like it would have been reciprocal on her side. So, uh, great human being.
Was there some conflict between? I remember at this point, you were voicing concern about Polly, and it seemed like Kristen was voicing more concern about AJ. Was there a difference in I guess, strategy between the two of you when it came to the out order?
No, I don't think so. I guess it's just prioritizing or being mindful of who's being the most devious on the other side. So it's what you see. So look, I trust will differ with each of the contestants based on your interactions with them, right? So it might be varying degrees and someone's really reached the limit with you, but certainly never do we have a disagreement on any decision. So no, it was plain sailing with Kristen the whole way through. Just wish it went for longer, that's all.
I know,
Yeah.
because this unfortunately is the episode where things go a bit wrong at Tribal Council. We see that Miles plays basically what in the US version is called a knowledge is power, where he gets to
Yeah.
ask someone if they have an idol, and if they do, they have to give it to him. And he asks Kristen.
Yeah.
When this happened, I was curious to know, one, were you expecting Miles to end up playing it then and there?
No. So when he stole it, that was a great move, right? And I was thinking there's a slight chance if Paulie had one, that Kristen would then double down and play hers, and like we would have a little covert move to protect me. But
yeah.
When he stole it, I've gone, oh damn, that's now out of the scenario. But I didn't really expect him to play that until we got to the stage where I go, hang on, this is playing out. And then you realise quite quickly. So it was a great move. Overall, as a Survivor fan, I looked at that move and go, that is like a real good one for your resume.
I know. I was kind of hoping that you and Kristen would like change the vote onto someone else so that there could be, some sort of thing with the idol play.
Yes.
It was really impressive. It was really cool to see. At what point did you realize he might be coming after me and Kristen? Or the tribe movie?
Only really at that tribal. I knew that was the day that my name started to get socialized across the group. So I was aware of that going in, but I then still thought when we were there that enough had gone on to say, no, look, it was close, but Paulie might be the one. So at the vote, I thought it was okay until you realise that Miles has got a plan with AJ, and that's the moment they go, you got me, which is the way it should be played. Anyone that gets too emotional about a vote out like that in the game, you got to remember that it's a game and it's part of how it's played. So it was you got me moment, and that was about it. But it was a pretty cool move.
Only one person wins, as much.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think that we did not see enough of you, to be completely honest, PD. I definitely noticed you as a player going way back in the beginning. It seems like there were some subtle moves that you were able to make and able to do. Looking back on your journey, they always say going on Survivor is like you experience some growth as a person. What would you say about PD going into the game and PD coming out of it?
Out there, I reflected, this sounds really soft, but I live quite a busy lifestyle and I'm always on the go when I'm here. But what I did appreciate and found perspective when I was out there was there are some important things that I probably needed to just take the time to enjoy, and that's going to be like with my kids or, time on the weekend or, just work, sport and health and family, like, balancing all of those elements a little better because, I missed my family quite a lot when I was out there and I just wanted to make sure that I get my balance right when I got back.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Would you do it again?
In a heartbeat. If they are, I've actually said, like, if they asked me to go back on, I'd be already at the airport before they finished the conversation about would I go. So, yeah, in a second.
What's a theme that you would want to do? There's heroes versus villains. There's blood versus water. Brains versus Bronze 3. If they do it again, do you have a preferred theme to go on for?
Mine would be like it's a redemption theme. And even if there was going to be something like the Redemption Island sort of component where you really had to struggle through. Because, I was really looking forward to the physical and mental struggle on an individual level. Like I wanted the game to test me to the absolute limit. Yeah. So something that pushed even further in a redemption style theme would be amazing. Yeah, that I
I
would love.
I
I
love
want it
that
to be
answer.
broken down. Mm.
Everyone always says like heroes versus villains or something like that. I love the answer about redemption. So thank
Yeah,
you. That's a new one to think about. I would love for Australia to get a season like that, and I hope you will be on it as well.
would
PD,
love
thank
it.
you so much for spending this time with us at Survivor Now podcast. Are you excited for Australia versus the world?
Unbelievably, I can't wait to watch. So I've seen like the highlights that are starting to come out now, the teaser campaign. So no, we're massive Survivor fans in this household. So like we'll be
Nice.
glued to it. Yeah.
Anyone you're rooting for in particular?
Well, on the Aussie side, Janine or George, I really love those two. So
Yeah.
if either of those pull off the title, you'll see me jumping up and cheering.
Good. I know.
Yeah,
I'm so excited to see Janine back on my television screen and George, of course. So it's going to be exciting. I can't wait to watch with all of you as well who are on YouTube watching this interview. Thank you so much for being here, too. PD, any final thoughts on anything you want the viewers to know about your season, or where can they find you online?
no, I've now joined the world of Instagram. So it's Paul_D13 on Insta. So yeah, join for sure. I'm now like on the Survivor bandwagon and posting things about the show and connected as well. So yeah, get on that. And I just really appreciate the time that you've given me today. And yeah, as a Survivor fan, I love what you guys do.
Oh, thank you so much. We appreciate your support, and you're welcome back anytime. So, with that, we are going to end the interview here. But of course, we have other interviews with other castaways that you are going to be able to check out as well. PD, once again, thank you so much for being here, and we will see you
Cheers,
all
man.
next time. Cheers.